All right, so yes, excellent. So hello, everyone. My name is Jose Velasquez. I'm the Executive Director of the SCM Blended Program.
Hello, everybody. My name is Maria Jesus Saenz, and I am working also here with you for the projects, research projects.
Yes, so well, today we are going to have a very important session, a webinar that relates with your work on the Capstone project. As you know, this is like the key element. It was a key part of the admission process. And now we are going to give you some guidance in how we are going to work on the assignment of the projects and also the assignment of the advisors, and give you some examples of how this is going to work. So we hope that this is going to be quite useful for you. So let's start sharing with you some slides, and let's start the discussion with this. Remember that as any other webinar, the slides are going to be shared and also the video later. And at the same time, we have here Robert that is hidden here in the chamber. You would like to say hi, Robert? Yes, excellent. And Robert is going to be passing the questions. Remember, you can type your questions in the chat of the YouTube, and we can just stop anytime to answer these questions, right? So, okay, let's start now, Maria.
Yeah, ready.
All right. So let me see if I learn how to do this. All right. So as we said before, yes, let me just go here. This is the outline. So we will start discussing about a very important event we have in January, which is the MIT Scale Conference, and what is the pre-work that you're required to do prior to coming on campus in January 2019. We later start discussing about the Capstone project, what are your deliverables and assignments that you're expected to deliver this fall. And we will give you some examples how to conduct a Capstone project, some guiding questions that are commonly used in any research project. And also Maria will elaborate on an example that she led and advised some years ago. We will later discuss also next steps and follow-up timeline and the important key lines for the fall and also for January once you are here at MIT. All right, so let me just start by, again, presenting the MIT Scale Network. We discussed this before in the onboarding webinar. And here you see the most important network of research centers in logistics and supply chain management in the world, the MIT Global Scale Network. Scale stands for Supply Chain and Logistics Excellence. And as you may recall, we have different centers, the headquarters, CTL, and also others based in Bogota, for instance, the Center for Latin American Logistics Innovation. We have Zaragoza Logistics Center in Zaragoza, Spain, where, by the way, Maria, you were there, the executive director of the center for many years. We also have the Luxembourg Center for Logistics and Supply Chain Management in Luxembourg, Ningbo Institute for Supply Chain Innovation, and also Malaysia Institute for Supply Chain Innovation. All these centers, as we said before, they have also academic programs. And they have students, master programs as well of SCM and also similar, like the certificate GC-Log in Latin America. And in January, we are going to host a very important event with all these students coming from all these centers to attend the Scale Conference. Right? We used to call this event the Scale Connect because we were bringing in this unique forum all these students from all these programs to engage in 2-3 week sessions to work together in challenges, case studies, attending some conferences, and many other things. So this is going to happen also as part of the orientation. So we will start with the orientation. I'm sure that Robert already shared all this information with you. And then after that, we will receive all the students. And in this particular event, in the Research Expo, which are the pictures that you can see there, we have all these students presenting their research projects. Right? So they have a unique opportunity to present all of these projects to people that are related with the field. So you're going to find not just your peers, students, but also faculty from different universities as well, MIT, and also from the other centers as well. You're going to have practitioners, all the corporate partners. As you know, CTL has more than 50 corporate partners, the most important companies in logistics and also in consumer packaged goods and retail. So all of them are going to be attending this event. And also we will have the presence of media. You know, like previous Research Expo, we had a Wall Street Journal, we had also APICS, associations, SCMb as well, attending these events. So this is a very important event in which you get a chance to expose your research, right? So that's why the work that you're going to be doing now in the fall is key, to have something meaningful that can actually be presented in this event. Right? So that's why the importance of discussing the pre-work and the deliverables and how you should work on this capstone during the fall. So Maria, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, just imagine yourself in this particular context. So then the pictures show a group of students explaining their projects to another attendants, could be companies, could be representatives from important associations, could be media, could be your colleagues from other centers all over the world that will know, I mean, what are you doing, what value are you bringing? So it's a good exposure of the value that you are going to contribute in your particular project to the rest of the world. So then in these TVs, you will have your poster with all the different images that are showing this particular value, right? So then this is a very important event. You are going to enjoy a lot, but it's an important milestone in your project at the middle of the path you are going to follow.
Thank you, Maria. Yes, so very important. So now let's just start discussing the Capstone project assignments. So Maria?
Yeah, I mean, actually, Robert has developed a very interesting SurveyMonkey tool just to gather all your opinions. So this is an image about what you are gonna find in this link. So we will share with you when all the details will be ready. Actually, you need to select at least 10 projects of the list that is available. It's important also that you will select your own project, of course. And so we have structured all the proposals in different research fields. Actually, we have like 8 research fields, from demand management to digital supply chain transformation, freight, humanitarian topics, inventory management, omnichannel and logistics, supply chain network design, or urban logistics. Many others could come too, right? So then you can take a look to the one-page summary with the different fields and the different research questions. What are the methodologies? So then you know very well, because some of you have been prepared by you, those that have been selected by the project committee. So then the idea is that you take a look to the proposals, you think how do you project yourself in 1 year time after you have finished these projects, and then you will be able to select 10 of them, the most interesting for you in this 1 year projection.
Yes, just to mention that in this pool of projects, you're going to get the option to pick among the projects that you propose. I mean, those that were selected based on the review that we conducted some weeks ago. But at the same time, we are going to also post projects for coming from corporate partners. You know, that we have also worked with them in the past. And also we are going to post projects that are proposed by researchers from the center. Among those researchers, also Maria and I are going to be posting some projects. So you're going to have a very interesting mix of projects that you can choose from. And the idea is that you as Maria just said it correctly, do it with 10, right? And then having these 10 projects will actually be very useful for us. So last year, if I recall correctly, like 90% of the projects were selected among the first one and second option for you. So it's very important that you also choose this based on the topic, so that in case the project is not available anymore, we can try to match with your interest. So we have a question. Can you tell them how many projects? Sure. So if I recall correctly, we have, well, Robert, you know these figures actually better than me. We have 5 from the corporate partners that are going to come.
Well,
19 from them that they are presenting. That's all for now.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, and also to mention right now, Robert, that you're saying this, we are gonna release this survey soon. right? So that you get access to all this information and also the descriptions, right?
Yeah, the one-page descriptions, with all the details. I mean, the details at this stage.
But at the end, we have some projects that are going to be mainly coming from the industry and also from the researchers. We're going to have just the general title of the research line, and then by next Friday, we are going to release all the content, so that later you're going to have all the information to make your decision in terms of the ranking, right?
In most of the projects, you will work with a partner, right? So then we will do this matching. Yeah.
All right. So let's continue with the slides. Yes. So the assignment.
Yeah. Then if your project is selected, the proposal that you have submitted and was pre-selected, if this project has been selected, then you will work on that particular project. But if not, then the idea is that you will work with a partner according to your selection. So we will make the assignments just to match the different criteria, mainly your preferences for pre-work, your options, your selections, so the field of interest, and of course your own research expertise, just to be able to contribute, to provide value to the particular company, to the particular sponsor entity, to your partner, to be complementary with your partner, etc. So as Josue already mentioned, then the survey will be available at the end of this week. Then you can start, taking a look to the different proposals. Then the survey needs to be filled out from September 17 to 19. So after you have heard and you have reviewed all the proposals, and then we will make the assignments and with your partner and the advisor. Then we will inform to you by September 21st, right? So you have plenty of time just to read and to see what are your goals, what are your interests, and then we will work for making this hopefully successfully. Yeah. So we have some questions.
No questions. All right. So let's just now discuss how to do a Capstone project, and we are going to share some ideas to guide you a little bit on this topic. So to get some example of previous research projects, now that you get the access to your Kerberos account at MIT, try to log in our website, ctl.mit.edu, and there you can find on the research or on publications information about the research projects we have conducted in the past. Right? So if you click here, you're going to be directed to this page. And I'm here just clicking in one of the projects that I advised a couple of years ago related to how to integrate your production and logistics strategy, using capacitated lot scheduling problem formulation for a CPG company. So in this project that is from 2017, you get the access to all the information, research poster, the slides of the presentation of the thesis, executive summary, and also the special access, which is given only for those that are partners of this of CTL and also this website, access to the full thesis. So you can get example on this. We will still give you guidance, but you can also take a look at the research projects. You can also use the search tools we have in the website to look for similar topics to the one that you're going to work, or advisors or students, etc. Right? But I believe this is we believe this is going to be quite helpful for you. So take some time to know a little bit more about the website at CTL. Now, to give you some suggestions, right? So the important thing here is that, of course, we checked all the projects, and while many of the proposals are almost done, still some work is going to be required to scope the project also with your advisor, right? So keep that in mind. So the project that is presented has like the general agenda for the project, how you're going to conduct this, but still, once you start discussing with the advisor, might be some changes also for the type of data, what exactly you're going to try to solve, and discussion in terms of the scope in general. So the main element in any research project comes with a problem statement, right? It's important to know what's your question, what's exactly the problem that you have. And this is just rephrase it in what needs to be solved, what is the pain for the company, what are my levers, what is exactly the type of things that I can do. So sometimes we tend to just jump directly to try to provide solutions. So I want to work on an innovative solution, but still we are looking for an interesting problem, right? And so you cannot just jump into the solution and try to say, I'm going to work on a mixed integer linear programming and I'm going to bring multi-criteria decision making. That doesn't work like this. At MIT, we solve problems. The emphasis is in the problem more than in the methodology. So the methodology is the model part of the Capstone project, serves a purpose to solve a problem. So what is that problem? What needs to be solved, and what actually my levers that I can use to solve and find different solutions, right? So in general, focusing on this and try to solve what is in supply chain management, the emphasis in balancing this supply and demand can bring you some idea on this, right? So once you have clarity on your problem statement, you say, well, this is the question, right, or the problem that I want to solve. There are 3 guiding questions that we usually find in any research project, right? One is, why is this relevant, right? And this, in general, explains the motivation, right? So what do companies or stakeholders should care about this? And don't try to minimize this part. Like many times you're coming also from your industry with your own approaches, and then you say, well, everybody knows that this is a problem. I don't know, an inventory management problem or a forecasting tool, or we need to solve delivery from the distribution center. Well, that's good, but you need to always question why this is relevant. Is this just particular to the case of my company, or actually there are other companies also struggling with this? Find hard data, some figures, right? You know, what is the percentage of cost that this represents for your supply chain, or what is actually the potential savings you may get, or what is the potential risks of this type of problem. So find reasons why this is important, right? And why we should care about this. What others have done to solve the problem. So once you understand, oh, why is it relevant? Well, if this is relevant, probably somebody was doing something to solve this. And this is what we call the literature review. Now, one main distinction is, of course, in the Capstone, this lit review should be focused on finding the right approach to solve the problem, not necessarily to identify a gap. This is more like in the thesis approach. That is, let me identify the gap, how I'm going to make my academic contribution, right, for a new model, new thing. So to do that, you really need to conduct an extensive literature review. In this case, for the Capstone, it's more like what is already there, right? What has been done so far, you know, how you can be sure of using mixed integer linear programming, probably simulation tools, or probably, I don't know, survey approach could be more suitable for the problem. So to know that, you need to find literature, to find articles and books to understand how you can actually solve your problem, right? And once you have found what is already there, done by others, then you can come up with an idea of what do you plan to do different, right? And then you provide what is your approach, your methodology, of course, important to working plan. What is your approach or contribution, the data that you require to do all of this. So this is in general how your research should be, at least we suggest should be scoped and planned in a way that you can really find convincing arguments why this is relevant and why is this research, where in which part of your project you're going to find insights, implication, contributions in general. I don't know, Maria, if you would like to add something.
No, it's perfect. So we will pay a lot of attention to the last point here. What is the data that can really support your research study? And we are going to make a lot of emphasis on that because it's really important. And here at MIT, we are solving problems and we are showing the proof that we have solved the problem, or we have approached the problem, or maybe to show different options for solving the problem, but in a quantifiable way, right? So we need to rely on data, and this data needs to be available. So as soon as this data is available, better for you. This is going to make your life easier. So we are going to put a lot of emphasis. We already put a lot of emphasis on that in all the interactions we have had with you.
No, it's a great point, and I will stress out that a little bit more. So this is just a general framework that actually Robert did last year to explain how the interactions work with the student, the SCM student, with all the different stakeholders that are going to be working with the student to guarantee the success of the Capstone project. So in general, the student, of course, is in charge of managing all these relationships. And here we have Maria, Robert, myself, that are already in touch with you to define deadlines, formats, etc. You're going to receive some training. And as you know, we are going to have a webinar in which you are going to meet one of our writing instructors to give you also some guidance in terms of the format, writing, and also when you are here on speaking, how you should present and position your own research and pitch these ideas. Also, not just for the research community, but also once you are, for instance, in the Scale conference, dealing also with potential partners, corporate partners that also can offer jobs or other type of people, right? You're going to have also your project advisor, who is in charge of giving you the guidance on methods and also checks the content. Just to stress out that he or she will be your advisor, which means you are still in charge of the project, right? And also the sponsoring company, which, as Maria just pointed out very accurately, providing the data and also approving the content are in general the things that they're going to be working on. So to make sure that your life, as Maria will say, is easier, or I will say less miserable, try to work now in this part with the sponsoring company to get, as soon as you can, the signatures for the NDA. The signing of the NDA, the non-disclosure agreement, is key to start working also with the data availability. So keep in mind that this is still a very short program. And if the data is not available and you arrive here still struggling, really it's going to be a nightmare to work on this project, right? Because at the end, maybe it's not available. At the end, companies may decide not to sign an NDA. So all those things, all those challenges are still manageable at this point. If you start working with this and we see some lack of collaboration, or we see that this is not going to end well for whatever reasons, now we can make decisions and you can actually choose different projects. But if you really want to make it for the project that you are proposing, it's important to do this engagement as soon as possible. And also the lead for this part of the NDA is going to be Maria with Tuba, that are going to be providing all this information. So ideally, it's easier if a company agrees to sign the MIT NDA, right? So we, as you can imagine, MIT has a huge department on this, mainly because we work in the development of new knowledge, a lot of IP work and science and innovations. And for that part, it's very important to work on this NDA. If there is some discussions on this, we are open, but it's important to just raise this awareness for you to start working on this as soon as possible. And we have a question here. It says, how many hours should they expect to work from now to December? Exactly 3 hours per week from September, December, right? Yes. So yes, so we are giving 3 credits for the pre-work. That means 3 hours a week, right? So if possible, exceed expectations, right? And try to plan more. So imagine this as a continuation of the work that you've been doing with the MicroMasters. So if you, all of you guys are actually quite well known because you work extremely well in independent way. So many of you already hold positions in companies, and still you were managing your personal life and also spending some time either at nights or when you were traveling to work and listen to the voice of Chris Caplis, right? And work on your problems, etc. So you are here because you are extremely good at this. So keep that discipline as well and try to spend time working on your project. Think about this. Try to find time to discuss with your company, with your advisor, also with your partner. So we are going to assign you with another person to work on the project. That means it's important also to spend some time on this and at the same time manage the main challenge of distance as well. So some of you are going to be located in different places. While we are going to try to help you on this, still sometimes it's quite hard to manage a specific time zone. So be open to work on these relationships, because the success of keeping collaborative mindset and working with the company, having an open communication channel with the advisor and also with us is key to successfully complete your project on time.
Yeah, actually, for that, we are gonna present right now in a couple of minutes a list of assignments, a list of deliverables that you need to fulfill before coming here to MIT, just to make this pattern of work quite active. But of course, your initiative definitely here is expected. So then you need to take the initiative, you need to talk with the advisor, you need to talk with other colleagues, with your partner, with us, so that just to make this happen, right?
Yes, excellent. So that will be all, at least for now, from my part. And now maybe Maria will be nice if you can.
Very shortly, just
an example. Yeah, that would be very nice.
One example that will show you, I mean, what we are expecting very, very shortly, right? So a couple of slides only. Just the in this particular project, we work with a pharmaceutical company, particularly on postponement strategies. So then we were working in order to better understand first on the problem, right? On and then to narrow down the problem into a particular research question. So then we end up with proposing this particular research question: does it pay off to hold drug product in terms of working capital, production cost, service level in inventory as against holding finished products, right? So then we have in inventory. So we have defined very narrowly the research question, but then for that purpose, it was important to understand what is the particular problem, what are the different needs that the different stakeholders in this particular problem had, in order to solve this particular issue, and then to solve this research question. Then once we understood the problem, once we posed the research question, we propose a methodology. So it's a typical methodology for this kind of problem. So first you start conducting the literature review, as very precisely Josue mentioned, understanding the supply chain. In this case, we remove the name of the company. We put Pharmaco, but there is a name behind. So then we selected the products for applying the postponement strategy. So then, of course, we didn't tackle all the portfolio of different SKUs in the company. We narrowed down in order to be able to understand with the particular product categories. Then we created the simulation. We started with the as-is models, and then future to be scenarios for products for testing these postponement strategies. And then we ran a sensitivity analysis just to test what will be the results when we will propose these different changes, these different strategies with these different parameters. And we conclude and we present the different managerial implications and different recommendations for the particular company, in this case, the Pharmaco, as we name it. So then, just to show you in one slide, the one single picture about what we have proposed as a value. Here, for example, we have on the left-hand side the drug substance manufacturing at the very beginning. Then it flowed to the drug product manufacturing and finished product manufacturing. So different lead times. At the beginning, it was from 2 to 6 months, but in the manufacturing side, it was only 3-4 days. So maybe there is some room to take decisions early. I mean, to implement some postponement strategies. So the as-is scenario, as we call here present, is the final product inventory was at the country warehouses versus the future to be scenarios where we can hold the inventory, the drug product inventory at factory upstream. So then we selected different product categories downstream in the country warehouses. We understood the demand, as you have learned. And then, so then we have key questions here. I'm not going to go into all the details, but just to give you an idea about what is included here in this kind of project, Capstone project, very narrow in terms of quantitative studies. Actually, we gathered data from the company quite early in advance, just to be able to understand the different implications, to answer the research questions, to answer the key questions. And then we apply, for example, cluster analysis here on the right-hand side, when we cluster in 2 variables, so the level of value addition at different stages, and the number of final products, SKUs per product, to low, high, just to understand what are the different product categories, just to translate these quantitative results into managerial recommendations for the company, just to give you an idea what we did and what can be done. It does not mean, of course, that you need to conduct this particular study methodology for your project. Of course, this is not the case. The idea is just to show you a particular case, particular details about what we did in the past with one company.
Yeah, excellent. I believe this is actually a quite insightful example. We have one question that is related to the literature. So it says if what should be considered, is it industry publications that highlight business impact or thesis research articles that are more theoretical? I will say both.
Yeah.
And also, well, there should be also articles from business context that still have some theoretical background, and also same articles from theoretical background, let's say like research, thesis, academic journals that still have a lot of managerial implications, right? So try to look for all of this. At the end, the idea is not to do an extensive literature review for a capstone, but it's more to be aware of what is there. So usually the business-oriented articles can find nice motivations why businesses care about a specific topic, and they show usually interesting figures. For instance, I don't know, McKinsey Global Institute or other type of journals. Or you can find academic journals that actually show what is the state of the art of a specific model, right? Like, for instance, if you are looking for techniques to do demand forecasting or techniques to do optimization, so usually there is already literature, so there is no need for you to start from scratch trying to model something that, you say, I want to contribute in a new model. Well, this requires still some work to see what is already done. So try to look for all of this, but again, this is just to be aware of what has been done already. So don't spend so much time on this, but more probably finding what will be the implications for the application of your problem for the company or just stakeholder you are collaborating with.
Additionally, there is a long history here at CTL about the project that have been conducted. So maybe you will select a couple of them that are closely related with your particular problem or research question, and maybe you will like to leverage on them to contribute, or maybe you could take some ideas that could be tested in your particular context. So yeah, this is part of the literature review, and then a very good pool of information that can be really useful.
Yes, excellent. So if you have more questions, please just send them in. Now let me just continue. We now are in the final phase of the webinar. We are going to share just what are the next steps and some important key dates for this. So pre-work timeline. Remember, all this pre-work starts prior to coming to MIT, and we are going to give you credits for this work. So students receive a pass-fail grade for completion of pre-work. So now probably it's not the time to discuss about the expectations we have about your grades. We will get some time later when you're here in January. But in general, for sure, we are not even considering the idea that you will fail this. On the contrary, you've been just selected to the most innovative educational program in the world. So for sure, we will expect that you will behave accordingly and will definitely exceed expectations. We are sure about that. So, but just give you some guidance on the timeline. So we will have the capstone bidding. So as we mentioned before, we will share the one-page documents of the proposals, and also some information regarding of the projects that may come from researchers at CTL and also from some corporate partners, some companies. You will get some time to work on this, and then later, when you have all the information in September 17th and 19th, we will have the capstone bidding period. So you will have the chance to select the 10 best projects according to your criteria, your interest. And then the 21st, September 21st, we will have another webinar. Maria and I, we will have another webinar to discuss the bidding results and the advisor assignment. And we may spend some time also to give you more guidance on how to start with the work, right, with all your assignments. So, and also clarify some potential questions you may have by then. And then October 5th, we will have the first assignment, your deliverable, which in general means meet with your team member. Sometimes this may look easy to say, but sometimes, you know, your team members are located in different parts of the world. So this can make a little bit of a challenge. But the idea is that you meet with a partner, discuss the project, and define an action plan. And we will be asking you to submit the minutes of that meeting, just to know the context and also what will be like the next steps. And then later we will have other sessions. You will meet with your advisor, etc. The second assignment comes in October 26th, in which we expect that you will be able to answer the first question, which is, why is it relevant? All the motivation, clear statement, explanation, why this is relevant. The third assignment, November 16th, the literature review. And then the fourth assignment, November 30th, the research methodology working plan, and ideally preliminary results. So if you get preliminary results, that will make it more appealing for the research expo. Remember that this is very important, this event that will happen in January, so that you can present findings. So the work that you can get done now in the fall will be super important, so that you can really get interesting results before. Right? Then we will have the fifth assignment, December 12th, the poster submission. So we will give you also some guidance on this and how the poster looks like. So we will discuss also this stuff during the webinar, September 21st. And then the sixth assignment, project review and feedback sessions. Well, this is still an assignment as part of the credits you're going to get. But this will happen, strictly speaking, when you are here now at MIT, right? And the idea is we will have a session with some researchers here and also with your peers, in which you're going to be giving some time, very short period of time, to show your project progress. And we will give you some feedback in terms of the content, right? So this session, it's meant to help you boost your next steps once you are here on campus at MIT. And the key date, which is January 30th, the poster presentation at Research Expo. This event that Maria also explained, which is with corporate partners, peers, faculty, researchers, media. So it's your moment to expose your research and to also get it disseminated also among the network that MIT has. And this is one of the most important events we host every year here at the Center for Transportation and Logistics. And yeah, with that, I believe that's done. So you already have the information of our general email account, the SCMb at MIT.edu, and of course the emails of Maria Sainz and also myself. In case you have any questions on this, of course, you can always reach out to Robert, right, who is probably the most known person for all the class. And Robert also even knows more than us in all of this stuff. So he's just giving us some space to talk about Capstone projects. But all right, I don't know, Robert, if there is something else that I'm missing or we are missing that you think we should discuss? No? There are any more questions, comments?
No.
No?
No more questions.
Fantastic.
No? Wow.
So apparently everything was super clear.
But feel free to reach us, whatever kind of question you will have. We are here to help you to progress, right? This is the idea. You have all the knowledge coming from all the MicroMaster courses. So then you don't have excuses, just to apply all the knowledge, right? So yeah, I'm ready to help and to support you.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Maria, for everything and your example. And thank you, Robert. And
thank you to you.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing you soon. So good luck.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.